and welcome back. I've been thinking about a subject that might be of interest to you. What advice would I give to my younger self a few decades ago when I started learning English? What mistakes would I help myself avoid? What truth would have saved me months or even years of frustration? Some things become obvious in hindsight. You learn them after making mistakes, after making wrong choices, after wasting time, after trying methods that don't work. And while those things are valuable, you don't have to go through the very same mistakes that I have. So today I'm going to share things that I would like that someone had told me when I was starting to learn English. And if you are starting to learn English or you are an intermediary, that might be of use to you. Alright, let's begin. First, you do not become fluent overnight. Fluency is something that you can aim for, but it doesn't happen all in a sudden. It takes years of practice. You have to apply yourself, you have to do it consistently, you have to keep on keeping on. And I know that there are a lot of courses that will sell the idea that you're going to become fluent very quickly. But believe me, very quickly is something very vague, because quick can be 5 years, can be 10 years, can be your lifetime. So don't believe that. It is not hard, but it is not that easy. And if someone had told me that at the beginning, I would have been much more less frustrated. Another thing that I wish I knew is that you don't have to know every word. You don't have to understand every sentence. If you know a few words, if you can just soup together a few sentences, that's great, because you're building the foundation for fluency. So don't be hard on yourself, keep on working on them, and most importantly, be patient. Another lesson that I would like that some teacher had told me when I was young: making mistakes is good. Yes, I know if you make too many mistakes, you fail your test, but it's not about that I'm speaking about. I'm saying that you have to apply yourself, you have to keep on producing, you have to keep on speaking. You won't be necessarily someone who is doing it right, but you're trying and you are correcting those mistakes. So don't avoid making mistakes. That's something that is very wrong about the educational systems, because they punish you with your mistakes. But a great tutor, they won't do that. They will use your mistakes as tools for improvement. So don't avoid making those mistakes, because fear can paralyze you, and we don't want that. We want you to move forward no matter what. So you will still be not perfect, but perfection is not something that we want here. We want you to lose the fear of making mistakes so you can improve faster. There's something else that I want to let you know, and I really wish someone had told me that. You have to speak. It doesn't matter. You speak it badly, you speak it nervously, you speak it, with a stutter, because you just have to produce, you have to get your words out. Speak to yourself, speak to a camera, speak to a friend, but keep on speaking, because you have to produce output. It doesn't matter how much you read, it doesn't matter how much You listen how much you are watching movies or series, because that has no value at speaking. If you are only listening, if you are only reading, you are on the receiving mode. But when you change that, when you are writing or speaking, you are on the producing mode. So that's the only way you can improve your speaking. It's practicing. I know it's obvious, but I'm going to say that again. If you want to become a better speaker, you have to practice speaking. And nobody told me that, so I'm telling you, you can save time. Another tip, never compare yourself to others. No, don't do that. That's not healthy in any circumstance. But when it comes to learning a language, sometimes you compare your English with someone else, someone who's been studying. That is not productive. That is not really motivating. So avoid that. Never do compare yourself to anybody. You have your own journey. Another quick but useful tip is that, some students, they come to me and ask, what English are you teaching? Is it British English? Is American English? And my reply to that is that it doesn't matter. English is English. And there are more people speaking English out of the native countries than in the native countries. So language is evolving, and you have to find your own way of speaking. You don't have to sound like a native speaker. That is not impossible, but it takes so much energy, so much time. It's not worth it. So embrace your identity, because having an accent doesn't mean that your English is bad. That means that you speak a second language. And finally, to wrap this up, I'll give you the last advice that I really wanted that someone had told me back then. Be confident. Even if you make mistakes, even if you're not speaking right, even if your accent is awkward, be confident, because learning a language is about communicating. It's about having your ideas going through, making yourself understood. And if you do that, you succeed. And the feeling of satisfaction is really great, and you will notice when you are doing the right thing. So, thank you very much for watching the video. Leave your comments, just drop a like, punch the button, the subscription button, and I'll be back here with some more tips